Hello and welcome to the Exponential. I am your host, RSquared, and today we're going through a commentary of the preseason Week 2 NFL match between the Miami Dolphins, fins up everybody, against the Washington Commanders. So obviously this is going to be a full commentary, so go ahead if you can, if you have the ability to, put the game on your TV. For some legal reasons, I can't put it on my screen, but you guys can have it on yours. I'm watching it over here behind the screen, so I can commentate fully. If you guys put it on your screen, then you'll hear my commentary. Like, this is kind of a thing, like, more of experience. But say you really don't like Tony Romo, or perhaps maybe aren't the biggest Tom Brady fan. Say you're maybe a Dolphins fan, a Jets fan, a Bills fan. Maybe you're not a huge fan of Tom Brady. It's understandable. Or maybe you just don't like certain commentators, such as Chris Collinsworth or Al Michaels. I don't know who doesn't like Al Michaels, but Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Joe Buck. There's certain styles that people don't like. So that's why you have me. I am your commentator. I am your host. I'm a one-man show. I'll be doing this all by myself for the next 3.5 hours, probably about that time, roughly. So I'm excited. It's going to be a blast. It's going to get started in just a little bit. We have 9 minutes until the exact kickoff, but if those who watch NFL games commonly know, it's probably going to be like 3 or 4 minutes after. So I have some time to stall. So let's talk about our matchup. So coming into this one, the Dolphins' top quarterback is, of course, Tua Tagovailoa, being one of the top quarterbacks in the league, top half at least. If you're a Dolphins fan, he's top 10. If you're like a Jets fan, he's bottom 10. If you're probably along the lines of Chiefs-Ravens fan, then maybe he ranks around 15th, because you have like those guys, they're on another level. Lamar Jackson, he can run. Patrick Mahomes, he's got this whole behind the back pass thing going on that he somehow managed to do in their preseason game in his first start. That was wild play, behind the back pass. Like, he's a whole nother creature. I wouldn't even he might as well be an alien. It's so fun to watch him play sometimes. But meanwhile, coming in for wide receiver for the Dolphins is Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and in the future, at some point, Odell Beckham Jr. That is probably, in my opinion, people are saying that the Texans wide receiver unit is better, but I don't think you can possibly say that a wide receiver unit with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is second best anything. That is by far the best wide receiver unit. Their running back unit and I mean, obviously with the addition of Jonnu Smith at tight end, that could definitely bring some power to the tight end game that they just didn't have last year. Not a single caught touchdown pass by the Dolphins from the tight end unit last year. As for the running back room, highlighted by Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, that was fun. I remember last year, we had no idea how to say his name, but coming into this year, it's one of the most talk of the town new running backs there possibly could be. Jalen Wright is a new guy in town. He was incredible in game 1 of the preseason against the Falcons. He scored a rushing touchdown. His cuts, his vision, fantastic. I was really impressed with the way he played. Interesting to see how Mike McDaniel will incorporate him into the offense. It seems pretty obvious. Sorry, I'm also going to read the chat every so often since there's nothing happening right now. I won't be when the commentating starts. Favorite team, Kansas City. Nice to hear. I understand. Kansas City, they're a good team. Lots of talk of another Super Bowl, not completely unheard of considering their long resume. I mean, I can't believe this personally, but Patrick Mahomes has already been in the league 6 or 7 years now. I'm like, I remember like it was yesterday when he was coming in the league and people were making fun of his name. And like 6 years later, he's now one of the most likely quarterbacks to be a Hall of Famer in the following years. So that's crazy. But anyway, back to the topic of the Dolphins. It's really interesting to see how they'll incorporate Jalen Wright further into the offense. And as for that Dolphins defense, headlined by new defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, who was taken from Baltimore defense that beat them multiple times. However, that Baltimore defense did throw away a pretty big one a couple of years ago against the Dolphins, where we got our first real look at Tua Tagovailoa, as I like to call it. That was probably the game where Dolphins fans started thinking, that's the guy. He's him, against that game against Baltimore. So Mike McDaniel brings on Anthony Weaver, the old linebackers coach, I believe. And so far, he's starting with a very talented linebackers unit in Miami with flashy names such as Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. I'm honestly going to check their full ones because that is a stacked linebacker unit. And I want to make sure I hit everyone. I might miss some people if I don't. Highlighting the unit, we have Jordan Brooks taken from Seattle. He's incredible. He's been great. He was great in Seattle. He's a great pass rusher. He's really got a lot of talent. He can do it very well. Another linebacker in that unit is Mohamed Kamara, one of our draft picks from recent times. It's been really interesting to watch him practice, and maybe we'll get our first look at him along with fellow linebacker Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson was one of the most disruptive players in Penn State defensive history. He brought the game every single day in Penn State that they were on the field. I'm really excited, really, really excited to see how he does. And assuming things go to Anthony Weaver's plan, he should become a top candidate for Defensive Player of the Year this upcoming year. Emmanuel Ogbah, another very credited member of this Dolphins defense. He last year he racked up quite a few sacks. It was very impressive to see him out there. 9 years in this league, formerly a Chief. That's where I still know him best for was his time with Kansas City, but he did a really good job in Miami last year as well. We've seen some linebackers come and go, but another linebacker returning from last year is linebacker David Long. David Long was disruptive in the rush game for the Dolphins last year. He was probably our only consistently healthy linebacker last year. For those that know anything about Miami, as of last year, their late season collapse was mostly due to defensive injuries. Jalen Phillips went down. Bradley Chubb went down. We didn't even have Chop Robinson or Mo Kamara back then. We were down to the very end. Jordan Brooks got picked up in free agency this year. This year, we have one of the most talented linebacker units in the league. Our defensive line's looking more impressive by the minute. Calais Campbell recently taken by the Dolphins. 17 years of experience back in hometown. He went to college in Miami at the U. Go Hurricanes. Yeah, so he went there. We also have Neville Gallimore, 5th year out of Oklahoma, coming in at an impressive 302 pounds, 6'2". But that does not compare to Calais Campbell's 6'8". That's a big guy to be that tall, I gotta say. Wouldn't want to run into him at a supermarket and accidentally crash your cart into him. Whew, that might be rough. We're also bringing in Benito Jones this year from Detroit, 4th year out of Ole Miss. He's a big guy, 335 pounds, 6'1". He could be very disruptive for this Dolphins defensive line. Meanwhile, returning for Miami is Deshaun Hand in his 7th year out of Alabama. That guy, he's disruptive in the run game. He can just stand there. That's all it takes, and no one's going to get by him. Also returning is Zach Sealer and Brandon Peely. Any of these guys are kind of interchangeable, especially due to the advanced pass rush that'll be brought by Chop Robinson and Jalen Phillips and even Bradley Chubb come next year. Some people are saying that the Dolphins safety unit is one of the most impressive of them all, highlighted, of course, by Jordan Poyer, Marcus May, and Javon Holland, 3 who at their own time have been considered some of the best there's been at their position. Marcus May with New Orleans was about as disruptive as it gets. Jordan Poyer with Buffalo, one of the best, without a doubt. Javon Holland has been a top-tier safety over his last 4 years in Miami as a starter. It's been fantastic watching him out there. Meanwhile, coming in is Cam Smith in his 2nd year out of South Carolina. At cornerback, along with him at cornerback, Jalen Ramsey, Nick Needham, Saran Neal, Kader Kohu. Kendall Fuller, rookie out of Louisville. Storm Duck. Gotta say, out of all the amazing names on this Dolphin team, Storm Duck definitely ranks up there. Patrick McMorris looked really impressive in game 1 against Atlanta. He made some really great tackles. I was really impressed to see Patrick McMorris stand up there and be as dominant as he was in the first game against Atlanta. I actually missed the name of this talented linebacker unit. Anthony Walker Jr. coming in from Cleveland. Fantastic. He was great in Cleveland. He's disruptive. He does everything you need to do. Coming in at special teams punter Jake Bailey. I know, we're covering that. Our punter isn't the best, came from New England a few years back. But he's been good enough, really. Same for longtime kicker and long snapper Jason Sanders and Blake Ferguson. They've been just good enough to keep their jobs in Miami. Meanwhile, coming in on the opposing sideline as we get set for kickoff just about, quarterbacks, they have 5 quarterbacks that could be starting, including one that I don't think was here last week. Trace McSorley. I think he was in New England last week, and now he's in Washington for the game. The players are running out of the tunnel right now from Miami Gardens, Florida at Hard Rock Stadium. The seats are still empty, so it is a preseason game after all. But it looks like the Commanders fans traveled just about as well as the Dolphins fans did, which, I mean, there's only not that many people there, but it's still a good crowd nonetheless. We see Jeff Driscoll, Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback out of LSU, hoping to make another good start today for the Commanders. The promising quarterback of the future, currently in a very, very, very small quarterback competition against Marcus Mariota, led by head coach Dan Quinn, former a lot of stuff, man. The Atlanta Falcons' old head coach when they lost the Super Bowl in disappointing fashion against the New England Patriots all those years ago. And then he was the defensive coordinator in Dallas last year. He was disruptive. Wasn't the Commanders' first choice, but he was a choice nonetheless, and he should suffice for the Commanders throughout the course of the year. Coming in at running back, they have an interesting unit coming in. Chris Rodriguez Jr., second year out of Kentucky. His year was ended a little short last year after getting shot in the leg in a hit and run there. So that was a fun story, but we hope to see him back on the field this year. I'm really excited to see how he does. This running back unit is headlined by Austin Eckler coming from LA, the Chargers. He was great during his first year, but last year he suffered a major decline in his overall statistics, running game, etc., etc. Brian Robinson Jr. has also he's been all right. He's done his job well in Washington throughout these years. Coming in, meanwhile, are some other more experienced and less experienced wide receivers. Nowhere near the level of the Dolphins, but they have veteran wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus coming in, along with veteran wide receiver Byron Pringle, Terry Scary McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, the young guy on the squad, predicted as a number 1 target through and through. De'Ami Brown, the 4th year out of North Carolina, turned out to be massive in the pass game throughout the course of last year, bringing in veterans Jamison Crowder and Martavius Bryant. These guys haven't played in a while. Well, I mean, Jamison Crowder has, but Martavius Bryant, it's been a while, and just to say the least, neither of them were that good when they left. So we'll see what these veteran experiences can really bring to this Commanders squad this following year. Meanwhile, their tight end unit also highlighted by a young and an old, starting with the old, primarily featuring Zach Ertz, who's bounced around quite a bit since leaving his dream destination, Philadelphia. He went to Arizona last year, and I think he came to Washington during the trade deadline. I think he's already been here for a year and a half. And then their second tight end up is Ben Sinnott, the rookie out of Kansas State, by far the best receiving player on that team, on that Kansas State team. He led them pretty close to what was thought was going to be a Big 12 title. As for the defense for the Commanders, their defensive line could look a little stronger, with their highlight being rookie defensive end out of Notre Dame, Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Say that 5 times fast. I can't. I'm reading it, and I still can't say it twice fast. But Baptiste was very good at Notre Dame. He's a productive big man. He's not as heavy as you would expect, but he gets a lot of pressure off the edge. And that's what they really needed, was a bit more pressure than they had last year after losing some big names such as Montez Sweat. Meanwhile, their defensive tackle unit looks a lot more intimidating, including 8th year out of Alabama, Jonathan Allen. He's a longtime player on this Commanders team. De'Aaron Payne, similarly, long time out of Alabama as well. They have a lot of Alabamians on this defensive line. Another one including, Fidarian Matisse being another one out of Alabama. I got to do this for 3.5 hours, folks. But of course, another interesting name to keep an eye on is one of their top picks, Jer'Jon Newton, out of Illinois. The rookie out of Illinois could definitely be interesting to see what he can do for the Commanders, possibly cause a bit of trouble. The linebacker unit, highlighted by Frankie Louvu, recently taken from the Carolina Panthers. He was great in Carolina. He can do even more damage in Washington. Also highlighted by Bobby Wagner, a longtime Seattle Seahawk, now changed destinations to the other Washington and has found his way to the Commanders linebacker unit. The stands are slowly filling up in Miami as the ceremonial march has just been carried out, and it appears that is about ready for kickoff. I'll go through the cornerback and safety unit real quick, highlighted by Emmanuel Forbes, second year out of Mississippi State, Noah Igbenogany, the former Dolphin. He's in his 5th year at Auburn. Benjamin St. Juste was very big last year in his 4th year out of Minnesota. He was very, very impactful last year for them. At the safety unit, Derek Forrest in his 4th year out of Cincinnati and Jeremy Chin coming from Carolina was really interesting to watch last year. Meanwhile, we'll say the rookie highlight for the Washington Commanders to watch this year has to be Ben Sinnott. Ben Sinnott at the tight end position as a rookie, coming in at 247 pounds, 6'4". He's 22 years old and a rookie, but he's got the big chance for big potential. He's got a big chance of being one of the best players on this Commanders team. He can really give Jaden Daniels some easier targets to find. As for the Dolphins, of course, their rookie spotlight falls on none other than Jalen Wright. In game 1 for Jalen Wright, he managed to get 10 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown, not to mention the receiving game, which I don't currently have the statistics on. Let me find that for a second. It's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work because it was just preseason and it's being a little finicky. But the other member, the Commanders spotlight, 3 receptions for 57 yards for Ben Sinnott. Not a terrible game. He caught 3 passes. 57 yards is quite a bit for 3 passes. He had 1 splashy play. They're currently explaining the new kickoff rules, which I couldn't if I tried. I don't completely understand them myself. But basically, no one's allowed to touch the ball. Is no one allowed to move until the returner touches the ball or the ball is fielded. So it looks like we're about to get underway from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And it appears the Dolphins won the toss and they will defer to the Washington Commanders. Here we go. Everything's just getting set up now. This is going to be full commentary mode starting right now. It's 2 men back for the Commanders due to the new setup. It's 0-0, and we now have a fun 60 minutes of football coming at you. The Washington Commanders against the Miami Dolphins. Here we go. They take a while to get set up. And the play is live. Jason Sanders, the kickoff. A short kick, almost like a squib, fielded by Byron Pringle. Decent return. It'll get him about to the 24-yard line, which means we'll get to see our first look at the Washington Commanders offense and the Dolphins defense. And we see none other than Washington Commanders rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels getting a start. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. In 12 games with LSU, he had a 72.2% completion percentage. He threw for 3,812 yards and had a 40-4 touchdown to interception ratio. Robinson's in the backfield. Daniels is in shotgun. Clock is winding down, 6 seconds. 5, 4, snap taken, handoff to Robinson. That is going nowhere. Stuffed solid there. Great stop by David Long and Emmanuel Ogbah on that one. So that one was going absolutely nowhere. It's going to be 2nd and 10. The keys to the game for Washington Commanders is Jaden Daniels has to be ready to throw just quick passes. Like this one, it's a screen, and that is going to go for about 8 yards. A nice screen that'll go to Dynami Brown on the screen, tackled by Elijah Campbell. That's exactly what he has to do. He has to throw quick, educated passes. He has to focus on throwing the completions instead of just the splashy plays. That was a good play, well thought out. Great job by Jaden Daniels on the decision-making of that one. It'll be 3rd and 2 coming up for the Commanders. Daniels will take the snap. He'll go to the right of the field and will hit number 2, Dynami Brown, and that'll go for a first down, a gain of 7 on the play. A well-designed route, however, Kendall Fuller was all over him on that one, the former Washington Commander, Kendall Fuller. He made the tackle quickly. He was there. Here's the run. It's to Brian Robinson. That was actually a little confusing. It was actually Jaden Daniels who took the run. That'll go for no gain on the play. Interesting triggeration. Couldn't exactly follow the play very well there. But it'll go for no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. There's about 13 minutes on the clock here in the first quarter. And the Commanders are at their own 37-yard line. 3 men in the backfield with Daniels. He'll play action, and he hits his target. A good throw, and that one will be a completion to Terry Scary McLaurin. A good pass, well placed. It'll still be 3rd down coming up for the Commanders, though. It was thrown to the left of the field. Terry McLaurin has played 80 games with his career in the Commanders. He has 378 receptions with over 5,000 receiving yards. 3rd and 3 coming up for the Commanders. Daniels with Robinson by his side. Daniels drops back to pass. He's got McLaurin. McLaurin breaks a tackle down the sideline to the 40 and to the 35. A nice broken tackle there on Terry McLaurin. That'll go for 20 yards to the 35. Marcus May forced to make the tackle on the no huddle. A pigeon just flew in front of the screen in Miami. We get our occasional pigeon sighting. Daniels takes the snap, no huddle, incomplete pass to Jahan Dotson. He's got to be a little more accurate on that one. It was just out of his reach. Not a great pass from him. He's really got to make sure to prioritize completing the pass. He gets a little hasty. He threw that very fast. He had it in his head what he wanted to do exactly, but you can't always go with your first read. That was a very quick-paced play. Dolphins got a hit on Dotson. That's ultimately what it comes out. You got to be ready to throw to the right person. Dotson in motion. They're at the Dolphins 35. Daniels will take the snap. He'll throw. He gets Dotson this time. It'll be a gain of no, that is not Dotson. That is Dynami Brown again. Number 2, Dynami Brown for a gain of 4. 3rd and 6 coming up for the Commanders. It's Brown's 3rd catch already in the game. Cliff Kingsbury is the new Commanders offensive coordinator. I believe that's Cliff Kingsbury. Honestly, it's been a while since I've seen his face since he got fired from Arizona last year. But here's the next play. It's 3rd and 6 for the Commanders. Need of a splashy play. Here comes, and Daniels will take the snap. Pressure coming. He lobs one up too far for McLaurin. Good pressure by Miami. Very solid. They beat Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler tried to go in for the block, but just could not manage it. So good pressure by the Dolphins, which means out come Commanders kicker Riley Patterson, the former Lions kicker. He wasn't all that good in Detroit, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But here we go with 11-11 on the clock, 4th and 6, and here comes the field goal attempt. It will be, oh my goodness, he missed it. He missed that chip shot. That was a 49-yard field goal for Riley Patterson. That was wide to the right. That was terrible. He pulls it left. That was not a good sign for the Burgundy. Wow. They might want to consider getting a different kicker. I mean, it's as my mom always used to say whenever the Dolphins kicker used to miss a field goal, they have one job. At least you can be good at it. No, that was not a good miss there. It really needs to be better. The Commanders, he's their only place kicker coming into this one. They might be having quite a few issues this season. Not a great sign to see your starting kicker miss a 49-yard field goal. I did not see that coming. So that'll be a timeout, 11-7 remaining in the first quarter as the Dolphins will take over, and maybe we'll get our first look at Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Timeout. It's time to look at the statistics in a more calm fashion. Jaden Daniels on that drive, 5 of 7 for 46 yards. That's a good sign for the Commanders. Brian Robinson only got 1 carry, but just couldn't get a yard on that carry. Same thing for Daniels, took a carry, didn't get any yards. But Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels definitely had the chemistry on that drive, going 2 receptions for 27 yards. The only reason that one was an incompletion from deep was because of the pressure brought by Miami. It was good pressure. Couldn't quite see who brought the pressure. Let me see if I can figure that out for you now. And that was number 47, Cam Brown, out of Penn State. He's our other Penn State. He's our other man of Pennsylvania on the team other than Chop Robinson. It was Cam Brown, number 47. Interesting to see him coming in on the rush there. I believe the other person with him was, I'm not sure, it was someone in the 40. We have a lot of players in the 40, but I definitely know that the one primarily on the pressure there was, in fact, Cam Brown. And we're back from Miami Gardens, Florida, where the Dolphins are taking on the Washington Commanders. They get set to take the field. And will we get our first look at Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa? And Tyreek Hill as well could be entering the field. Let's see how this first one goes in. It is Tagovailoa in the game. Our first look at Tua. He's got Ingold, and it appears to be Mostert in the backfield with him. Tagovailoa will play action. He throws one to Craycraft. Craycraft gets away from a few guys to the 45. And a great first pass by Tagovailoa drills it into Craycraft for a 16-yard gain on the play. Frankie Louvu came in on the tackle. He didn't get the good enough read. He had to chase after him a little. Thankfully, Craycraft isn't that fast, and they had some safeties back there. Otherwise, they might have been in some fair trouble. Tagovailoa, I believe that is still Mostert by his side. Takes the snap, throws. It's Jonnu Smith, and Smith will be taken out of bounds by Frankie Louvu for a gain of 5 on the play. So a couple of completions for Tua Tagovailoa to open up the game for the Dolphins. It's a good look for the Dolphins seeing Tagovailoa get back into the rhythm this quickly, being able to see him really jump into the game this fast. It's a good look for a Dolphins fan. They're saying that the last pass was inbounds. Interesting call. Raheem Mostert will take the ball from Tua, and that'll be about a 4 or 5 yard gain by Mostert right up the middle. Tackle made yet again by Frankie Louvu. So far, Louvu is flying around for this Commanders D, but Mostert makes a nice run right up the middle, and their official spot is it's a 4 yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 1 coming up for the Dolphins. Will their drive continue, or will the Commanders' defense make a stop against Tua Tagovailoa's starting offense team? Tagovailoa is under center. Mostert's in the backfield. They're at the Commanders' 36. Tagovailoa, handoff to Mostert. Mostert is swamped. No protection by the offensive line, and Mostert won't get there. It's going to be 4th and 1. You need to see better from the Dolphins' offensive line there. The Commanders completely swarmed him. They expected the run completely. They brought an extra man. It was not Frankie Louvu this time, but he did come in on the blitz. It was Derek Forrest making the tackle. It appears the Dolphins are going to keep their offense on the field for this one. They will, which means we might be expecting either a short pass to the left or a run to Mostert. Tagovailoa is not under center. Mostert's behind him. Mostert takes the run, and he will get the first down right up the middle. Came a little close there, but still a very strong power run from Raheem Mostert, and that's another Miami Dolphins first down. Mostert exposed the gap right in the middle of the defense. Good blocking. He made a nice cut. The Commanders did a nice job of stuffing him there. If they hadn't pushed back the offensive linemen like they had, it could have perhaps been a much more drastic situation for the Commanders. Tagovailoa on Jonnu Smith's in motion. Smith takes the jet sweep. Oh my goodness. Big man. Jonnu Smith goes for 9 yards. Wow. And that was crazy. Wow. So Devon Achane's in the game now, but Jonnu Smith took the blow right from him. That wasn't it. That could be something to look out for this Dolphins offense next year. Jonnu Smith on a jet sweep. Mike McDaniel trying out new things. It's 2nd and 1 from the Commanders' 25. Another in motion for the Dolphins. They'll hand it off to Achane, and Achane will go for a gain of 3, which will take him to the Washington 22. Tackle made by Henry for the Commanders. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dolphins coming up. KJ Henry is another guy who can really tackle for this Commanders defense. He went to college at Clemson. He weighs 255 pounds and is all over the field at Clemson. At the 22, Tagovailoa in the same I formation hands it off to Mostert, who tries to get the ball to the left and is going nowhere. It'll be 2nd down coming up for the Dolphins. He tried to get Mostert around the left side there, but the Commanders were quick to the ball. Malik Washington did not pick up the block he needed to pick up for the Dolphins there, and the Commanders managed to get the stop. There's about 6 minutes remaining on the clock here in the first quarter. Tagovailoa is under center. Tagovailoa will play action. He is swamped immediately, but he gets the pass away, and that is a power run. Oh, a fumble at the end of the play there, but it looks like Julian Hill will hop back on top of it. That'll be a gain of 8. The Commanders brought the blitz, read the play action perfectly. Tagovailoa just managed to escape the pressure on that one. Julian Hill, his knee was down before the fumble. So that is A-okay. It's 3rd and 2 coming up for the Dolphins. Dan Quinn watches his defense go to work. He's calling the defensive plays for the Commanders. There's clocks running down on the play clock. Stop clock, sorry. And Mostert will take the snap. It was a wildcat, and that is going nowhere. A little too predictable on the Dolphins' part, perhaps. And the Commanders stop it. They're going to say it's a gain of 1. Tackle by Frankie Louvu again. He's been dominant in the second preseason game for the Commanders' defense. Definitely. So we'll see what Mike McDaniel's calling here. He's being really aggressive throughout this first thing. It looks like he's going to keep the offense on the field again. I mean, why not? I mean, it's the preseason. Might as well not taking 3 in this one. Tagovailoa. They're at the Commanders 14. Mostert by his side. Tagovailoa will take it. He throws a perfect pass. Touchdown Dolphins. River Craycraft. He's got it. What a throw by Tua Tagovailoa to River Craycraft. That'll be 6 on the board for Miami. Fantastic throw. He throws that straight towards the right of the field. Craycraft just did his standard run upfield route that you normally see out of Tyreek Hill or perhaps even Jalen Waddle. And Tua puts it right in his hands, right where he needs it. Getting right back into it is Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown, Miami. And that leaves Jason Sanders to it. I mean, running full speed through the defender. Craycraft just rammed him as hard as he could, ran right past him, and Tagovailoa throws it right in his hands, right in the corner of the end zone. Perfect play. Touchdown, Miami. Jason Sanders on the extra point. The kick is up, and it is drilled. Extra point is good. The Dolphins take an early lead, 7-0 with 4:36 remaining in the first quarter. River Craycraft, in his 6th year out of Washington State, the Dolphins will strike first to take the lead, 7-0. A perfect throw from Tagovailoa, and the Dolphins connect. And that'll lead us to a commercial break. From a Dolphins fan's perspective, I'm going crazy on the inside. What a throw. I'm so excited. Those who know me well would be really surprised that I kept myself together that well on that, because on the inside I'm going, they scored! What a throw! It was an incredible pass by Tagovailoa. Oh, man, that was a beautiful throw. Pretty pass. On that play, Tua Tagovailoa went 5 for 5, perfect. 5 for 5 for 51 yards and a touchdown. River Craycraft caught 2 of those passes for 29 yards and a touchdown, while Mostert took the ball 5 times for 7 yards. What a good drive. Mike McDaniel's aggressiveness pays off. On 4th and 1, they scored a touchdown. That is Miami football, folks. I don't know what isn't, but Miami just stormed out of the gate. It didn't even take them long. They took 6 minutes off the clock, which is actually very slow for Miami, but very solid. 61 yards, 11 plays. They strike first. Fantastic performance by Tua Tagovailoa. Great throw. And wow. I'm so excited. Imagine if that's Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle catching that. That was River Craycraft. He didn't even need a good wide receiver to throw that ball right in his hands. Thank you, Haseen. Fins up, everybody. Let's go, Dolphins. Beautiful throw. A series of nice runs there, and keeps the Dolphins' run alive and lets them score the opening touchdown. Grab a drink real quick. Good. All right, I can go another 20 minutes easily. Here we go. So the Dolphins are taking on a slightly different strategy for this kickoff. Instead of Jason Sanders kicking it back, it'll be punter Jake Bailey. Jason Sanders squibbed that last one, so not totally not totally out of the question. I actually understand it really well. So it'll be Jake Bailey punting off here. Again, 2 Commanders deep with this new kickoff format. Here they go. Jake Bailey, another low kick, and that one will head into the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Commanders, due to the new rules, will start at the 20-yard line for this one. So the Commanders will get to see a different quarterback, or will we get to see Jaden Daniels? It could be interesting. The Dolphins are up 7-0. It'll still be Daniels staying in the game for the Commanders. His top wide receivers, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, could be big in this one for the Commanders. We get to see a little. I'm hoping that we saw a little bit of chemistry in game 1 for the Commanders between Dotson and Daniels, and maybe we get to see a better chance between Daniels and McLaurin today, which we've already seen starting. They go huddle on this one, on this first play. Shotgun. Daniels will hand the ball off to Robinson. Didn't even go seen by the Dolphins defense. They didn't see him until he was 5 yards down the field. And that will go for an 11-yard gain for Brian Robinson. That'll be a Commanders first down. And that'll be to the 32-yard line. They're saying it's a 12-yard gain. Marcus May came in on the tackle, the former New Orleans Saint. 1st and 10 for the Commanders. Ooh, there was a bit of action before the play there. Looks like number 44 on the Dolphins jump, but it could have been tempted. And it is false start on the offense. False start, Commanders. That is whoever the right tackle is. Not quite sure who. The broadcast did not say, so I have to do everything myself now. It's my job. It doesn't even say. Well, anyway, it was a false start on the Commanders. Here comes Washington. It's 1st and 15 coming up for the Commanders. Daniels will hand the ball off again. And again, just the Dolphins' run game defense not looking particularly impressive early on in this one as Brian Robinson Jr. just runs right through. There's an injured Dolphin on the play. You can tell it's a bit serious because the Commanders crew was out there first. No, he waved him off. He's waving off the Commanders crew and the Dolphins crew. He was just down for a second. That was number 41. Let me try to get a name for that. The injured Dolphin is Channing Tindall, I believe. It's really hard to see the number from the angle that they're at, but I'm pretty sure it's Channing Tindall. And so that'll lead to a small timeout for the injury. Doesn't seem to be a big one, but he is still down on one knee. Right now, they're doing a plug-in commercial for the Commanders, so I'm going to do a plug-in commercial. Make sure you check out our other channel, RSquared's Monday Morning Mayhem, where we do reactions. There's not a video yet, but it doesn't hurt to subscribe early. Go ahead and subscribe to that one, and while you're at it, subscribe to this one too. And don't forget to turn your notifications on so you get all of the different notifications every time one of these lives comes out or another video on the channel comes out. I'm now taking questions. Just until the game comes back. If you guys want to type anything in the chat or whatever, I'll answer because I'm looking now. We're going 40 minutes strong so far. A great first quarter. Dolphins getting on the board. It was Long Jr.? Oh, that's not a good one. I got fact-checked. It was David Long Jr., the 60-yard. He's one of our starters. Again? I just finished saying how he was our only consistent linebacker ahead of the game, and then he goes and gets injured. Man, that's tough. It didn't look bad. It looked like he might have twisted his ankle in the wrong direction. But hopefully he'll still be okay for week 1. That's actually a pretty bad one. Don't want that. Don't like that at all. They're still doing their plugins for their Washington Commanders thing. Should I do it again? Subscribe. Notification bell. Do it. Go Dolphins. All right, the game is back. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Washington Commanders. Brian Robinson in his career with the Commanders, he's played 27 games, got 383 carries for 1,530 yards, but only 7 touchdowns in his career with the Commanders. So here comes Jaden Daniels. He's got 2 men in the backfield with him. Not I formation, though. Daniels will take the snap. He'll fake the handoff. He's got the entire Dolphins defense looking, and the tackle will be made by number 46, and that is Marcus May. Marcus May makes the tackle on that one. So far, the running game has rendered the Dolphins defense completely and totally useless. Like, they've done nothing so far to stop Brian Robinson or Jaden Daniels from just taking the ball and running. So far, Daniels has had no reason to pass the ball. They're at the 50-yard line right now. It'll be a screen to Dotson, not blown up immediately with a little bit of a stutter step, but they do get him down for a gain of only 3 on the play. About 2.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. It'll be second down coming up for the Commanders. It should be 2nd and 7, if I'm not mistaken. It is, in fact, 2nd and 7. Running back in motion. Jaden Daniels fakes the handoff. He'll take a throw to the wide open receiver, number 87. That'll be Jesse Bates. I don't know the Commanders that well. I'll take a look at him right now, unless the play starts like really quickly. John Bates, 4th year at Boise State, coming in at 259 pounds and a 6'6". He was a very possession catch there, and Daniels will take the snap. He's under a lot of pressure. He'll dump it off to the running back. He deflects a few tackles. Again, the Dolphins' defensive line's looking rather disappointing. They should have made that tackle way quicker. That running back that I keep mentioning is Austin Eckler, number 30. It is so weird to see him in a burgundy uniform. I'm used to seeing him wear powder blue, but he is definitely it's a different vibe in Washington, and so far it's not really looking like it. He just did the exact same play he did in LA all the time. Daniels will take the snap with Eckler in the backfield with him. Play action, good pressure, and Kader Kohu tries to come up with a tackle, and Olamide Zaccheaus will come very close. That'll be a gain of 4. Looks like he'll come just short of the first down marker. Kader Kohu stopped his progress long enough for Marcus May to come up on the tackle. Commanders trying to get everything in order with 40 seconds remaining on the clock. They do have to run a play. It'll be 3rd and 1 or 2. I'm going to say 3rd and 2. We'll see. And Eckler's in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Eckler. Eckler will go through for the first down. There is laundry on the play. Eckler went for about 10, but there is a flag. Second flag of the day. It looked like a holding. I'm not sure, but it looked like a holding from my view. It is, in fact, a holding. It'll be on Wiley. And we'll get our first look at the referee, whose name is being blocked. I would have shouted him out, but the name was blocked. So that'll be a holding penalty, which will push the Commanders back 10 yards to 3rd and 12. 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Commanders are driving. However, it is 3rd and 12, and the Dolphins defense has a chance of holding them to nothing. They've restarted the clock. 7-0 for the Dolphins, and they do not have to run a play, and it looks like they will not. A good first quarter for the Dolphins, who've only gotten 1 drive out of it, but that drive was a touchdown, fueled by Tua Tagovailoa on a 14-yard touchdown pass to River Craycraft. Jaden Daniels has looked sharp in his second time under center. He's gone 9 of 11 for 74 yards in this first quarter. I have a feeling he'll be finishing the drive, however, before he eventually exits the game. So far, we've seen a lot of good stuff from both quarterbacks, but we haven't really seen that much from Tagovailoa, although his QBR right now, I can tell you, is perfect. Again, I'm open to reading the live chat. I don't like talking during these commercial breaks because they're doing commercials. They're not necessarily plugins. I could, but that would be wasting a lot of your time. I could go through some statistics, but really nothing's changed. There's been Brian Robinson in his 2 carries since his no carries has gone for 22 yards, 3 carries, 22 yards for Brian Robinson on the day for the Commanders. Going into the second quarter, a lot of things. I've seen the Dolphins defense has been very clean. The offense has been very clean. There's not been many penalties on the Dolphins. There hasn't been any penalties on the Dolphins. There's been 2 on the Commanders. Obviously, things to worry about for the Commanders would be kicking. Their place kicker missed a 49-yard field goal on the first drive of the day for Washington. So and he's their starting place kicker. So perhaps not a great sign for the future if you're the Commanders, but things could, of course, get better in the future, and they could not very easily. But, reps help. Jaden Daniels is getting those reps. He's looked sharp in this game. But, of course, and the Dolphins defense has kind of struggled a bit, but also not out there right now are star quarterbacks, Jalen Ramsey. I haven't heard Javon Holland's name mentioned either, so I don't think he's in the game. I have seen Mo Kamara's name pop up, so he's in the game. He hasn't made a huge difference thus far. And I haven't heard anything about Chop Robinson, but chances are he's also in the game as well. I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay as far as sound goes. It should be working, but just in case it's not, do type in the chat if you're having issues hearing me or something, then I can try to find a way to boost my sound. The first quarter stats, the Commanders have led in all categories, including third down conversions and time of possession, pass yards, rush yards. They've just had the ball more. They've done more stuff. Give Tua the ball one more time and maybe. They say Tua's going to play the first quarter, but he hasn't even had a first quarter to play. Daniels with Eckler in the backfield next to him coming at the 35. Daniels looking for someone. He'll throw a short pass to Bates. John Bates is getting swarmed. He's putting up a fight, but it takes 3 Dolphins to take him down, but eventually they do, in fact, take down Bates. So that'll go for a gain of about 4 yards, which will force the Commanders into a field goal. We'll get to see the Commanders' second shot at field goal at Riley Patterson. Let's see if he can make this one. It's 3 yards shorter. It's a 46-yarder this time for Riley Patterson. We'll see if he can put the Commanders on the board in the second quarter. Patterson's kick is up, and it is good. A solid kick. He really let the wind take that one, though. Didn't have a whole lot of power on it, a little short, but a good kick nonetheless. So the Commanders get on the board. It's 7-3. Dolphins have the lead. Will we see Tagovailoa when we get back from their commercial break? I'm still here. Will we get to see Tagovailoa? I don't think we will. I don't think they're going to play Tagovailoa through the second quarter. If they do, I would be really surprised. We saw his rep. It looked really good. He threw some nice passes. Well executed. I don't see him coming back for the second drive. I expect some Skylar Thompson, sadly, and eventually some Mike White in this one to help determine who's going to win this backup quarterback competition for the Dolphins. The correct answer is neither of them. We should just get a completely new quarterback. A completely new quarterback, because neither of them have been up to the standard that the Dolphins have of their quarterbacks. People are always saying, "Oh, Tua's not that good. Tua's a 15th quarterback, best quarterback." Blah 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 blah. Who's better? Who's better, everyone? I'm just gonna say it now. Who's better than Tagovailoa? If the Dolphins were to trade, say a quarter. Okay, so let's go through the quarterbacks while we have time. AFC East. Would the Dolphins trade for Aaron Rodgers? I don't think so. He wouldn't last long enough. Some say that he could throw an easy touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill every day of the year. He's old. Sorry. Josh Allen, the Dolphins would probably take that. If we're being honest. The Patriots, don't even consider them. The Ravens, I got to say, I would love to see Lamar Jackson in the Dolphins offense. So that's 2 so far. Browns, no one. Steelers, they have a quarterback. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, that would actually be kind of that could work. So far 3. CJ Stroud, they wouldn't. It's basically one quarterback for another. It's pretty much an even trade in my book, but I do like CJ Stroud. So I'm still going to stick with 3. Titans, Will Levis, no. Trevor Lawrence, no. There's no one. Patrick Mahomes, yes. There's 4 quarterbacks so far. No one else in the West. No one else in the South. The NFC East, no. I don't like Jalen Hurts from anything other than a fantasy perspective, but I love him in fantasy football. The Commanders will proceed with the kickoff now. He almost kicked the referee. But in the North, Jordan Love, big fan of Jordan Love. I made a prediction a few years back. It wasn't even on the channel, but it was recorded. I just don't know who has it. I said that Jordan Love was going to be, when he first got drafted, I said that was a really good draft pick, and no one believed me. Take that. The kickoff will be fielded by Braxton Berrios, and Berrios will get upended at the 25-yard line. Wow. They took the legs right out from under him on that one. As for the NFC South, Kirk Cousins, wouldn't take him. Sorry, I wouldn't. Penix is left-handed too. No way. Derek Carr, no way. And there's no one in the North. Jared Goff, I wouldn't. Honestly, the Dolphins team was designed for Tua Tagovailoa. And I was also correct that Tua Tagovailoa is not in the game. So it is Skylar Thompson getting reps for the Finns. He'll play action. He'll launch it deep. Skylar Thompson's got a man. He overthrows him. Skylar Thompson, everybody. Man, if that was Tua, caught easily. I mean, Skylar, he just put it in front of him. He had space against the defender. He put it a little too far back and a little too far out in front of him. He gave the defender a little time to catch up with him. First of all, I put it too close to the defender, and it was too far ahead of him. Not a great pass by Thompson. Thompson will this time hand it off to Devon Achane, and Achane fools the cameras, but not me. He makes a nice run there and will get a gain of about 6 or 7 on the play. That is Achane, I believe. Turn around. Yes, it's Achane. It's Devon Achane, number 28. 25's right. That was the only thing that was keeping me. I'm like, that's Achane. So yeah, anyway, in conclusion, the Dolphins, there's only like 5 quarterbacks that would take above him. It's an offense designed for Tua. No one else. As we can see, because Skylar Thompson's in the game. It's 3rd and 3 for the Dolphins at their own 32-yard line. Pressure's coming. What even was that? Skylar Thompson very nearly threw a pick 6 on that play. I would barely even classify that as a throw. It wasn't blocked. It was just in front of him. The only person who had a chance of catching that was the Commanders' defender. Skylar Thompson, everybody. I'm going to keep saying it. Like every time he makes a bad play, Skylar Thompson, everybody. Give a round of applause for Skylar Thompson. Man. No, it's not been pleasant. Bad snap from Blake Ferguson. Punter recovers. Decent punt. It's fielded. Ooh, good tackle. Or almost tackle. He'll get the ball at the 30-yard line for the Commanders. Will we continue to see Jaden Daniels, or will they cycle through their list of 5 quarterbacks? Wow. We'll see after this break for them. Again, type in the chat if you have any questions. What do I think of the Dolphins' chances this year? What do you think is their ceiling? What do you think is their floor? Blah, blah, blah. Commander stuff. I don't know that much about them, but try me. I'm pretty smart when it comes to this stuff, so try me. Yeah, I don't. I guess we'll take a look at some statistics, I guess. I mean, not too much to look at. Yeah, there's really nothing. The Dolphins did absolutely nothing. Achane took the ball twice. He's got 2 carries for 10 yards. He's the Dolphins' leading rusher now. He surpassed Raheem Mostert on that one. So we're about an hour through the broadcast. Let me know how you guys are liking it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. This is good. We're having a good time. We're seeing some familiar names in the chat and then some not familiar names, but he's a Dolphins fan. Let's go. Fins up. So this one could go either way, honestly. It's a preseason game. If the Commanders take out Daniels, they definitely have the Dolphins have a much better chance of pulling away. As for the Dolphins, they have only 2 quarterbacks, and they're both terrible now that Tagovailoa is out of the game. So they could be in for some trouble, but no, I'm not mincing my words. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. They're bad. I mean, I understand you're not a starter. You don't get starting reps. It's the preseason. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, ultimately, if Tua goes down, the Dolphin season is over. Well, at least as long as he's out. If he's out for a week, maybe not. But if he's out for the year, they might have some issues, some big issues. They're doing a Commanders plugin, so subscribe to my other channel at RSquared Monday Morning Mayhem. Don't forget to turn your notification bells on for this one. We've officially hit the hour mark, everyone. Congratulations. It's been fun throughout this hour. Another 2.5 to go. Let's go. I'm ready. All right, so here come the Commanders. It is, in fact, a quarterback change. It'll be Jeff Driscoll in the game for the Commanders. 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Driscoll, there's a lot going on. In motion, pressure coming. Doesn't get to him. Driscoll takes off the 40, the 50. He's gone. 40. He breaks another tackle. Oh, and a vicious come from behind tackle by number 58. Driscoll goes for 41 yards. I mean, after breaking through the pocket, he just ran for all of it, but a vicious tackle from behind him. Got to see who that was coming in on the tackle for the Dolphins, because he nailed him. I think it was Cameron 56. It was number 56. Quentin Bell. Quentin Bell at Prairie View A&M. Hey, whatever they can get, if he's good. Driscoll will hand the ball off to Robinson, it seems, and that's going nowhere. It's not Robinson. It's McNichols. Jeremy McNichols. He goes nowhere. The Commanders. It'll be 2nd and 8 coming up for Washington. 12 minutes remaining on the game clock in this game between the Commanders and the Dolphins. 2nd and 8. Daniels. Oh, sorry, Driscoll. I'm still in the Daniels mood. That's going absolutely nowhere for McNichols. If anything, he lost a yard. So that ball went nowhere. It'll be 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 8. Looked like 3rd and 9, but they might give him the advantage because his forward progress stopped after he got back to the line of scrimmage. But Jeff Driscoll's impressive first run got the Commanders down there on 3rd and 8 coming up for Washington at the Miami 27. 27-28. Jeff Driscoll will throw, and he's got Jeremy McNichols, who is hunted down by Kader Kohou. That he came in like a bullet, which means we get a chance to see the Commanders starting kicker again. He better not miss this. He better not miss this. And it is same guy, same old guy. I'm blanking on his name again. It's Riley Patterson. Riley Patterson is the kicker of the Commanders' name. So Patterson will come up for the kick after the impressive Driscoll run. Here comes the kick. Oh my goodness, he missed it. He sent that one far to the right. Who is this guy? No words. No words. 2 missed kicks. The Commanders could be up 9-7 now. But he's missed 2 field goals from very reasonable distance. That was a 43-yard field goal. What? Commanders fans, you might be having some kicking issues. You might need, Greg Zuerlein. Can you come out of retirement? I know Adam Vinatieri is almost a Hall of Famer, but can he come back anyway? Try to get anything they can get. I mean, terrible kicks. And he's not even shanking them to the same direction. He's shanking them to different directions. Terrible kicks. 7-3, the Dolphins lead holds as the Dolphins will take back the field, as it is likely going to be Skylar Thompson yet again. I got nothing. Really, this is where the commercial happens. The car commercials, the car insurance commercials for after you buy the cars, the Progressive commercials, not sponsored by or any of the affiliates of Progressive. It's crazy. they get their break. I don't get a break. I'm just here. I just get to be a little calmer when I'm not. So the Dolphins have had 2 drives. One of them was a touchdown for Tua Tagovailoa, and one of them was a 3-and-out by Skylar Thompson. And the Commanders have gone 40-plus yards on each of their drives and have only scored on one of them due to the atrocity that is their kicking game. I mean, Riley Patterson, like I don't even remember this guy if I'm being honest, but wow. All right, so we're back. There's 10:28 on the clock remaining for the Dolphins to drive down the field, hopefully. So 10:28 remaining in this before halftime. Riley Patterson got a stern talking to from Dan Quinn. Malik Washington's in motion. Skylar Thompson, Achane by his side. Play action. He's under a lot of pressure. He's forced to throw it, and it is batted down, headed towards Berrios. I am nonplussed by the Dolphins' offense without Tagovailoa so far today. Haven't seen many good things to say about it. Patrick Paul almost looked eligible on that play. I wonder if it's because I don't have the sound on that I missed it, but it almost looked like he was running a route, which is not good. He should have been there blocking for him. Thompson's all alone, shotgun. Low snap. He takes it anyway. He's got a man. He's got Achane. Achane turns on the Jets for a nice completion. A nice run for an Achane for 26 yards to the Washington 41. Wide open was Achane, and Achane just did the rest. All Scott Thompson had to do was put it anywhere in the vicinity of Achane. So Achane makes the catch. It was actually a little bit of a high pass, but a good play by Achane getting the ball right where it needed to be. I mean, Thompson getting the ball where it needed to be. And then Achane just getting the nice run. Thompson's all alone again. The Commanders looking like they might bring pressure. They did not. He's going to throw deep for, wow. He went deep for number 81, but wow. Durham Smythe. Skylar Thompson, my friend. Oi. That's it. Just oi. I was not good. Not good, buddy. Not good at all. I mean, he put it way in front of him. So Thompson will take the snap, 2 in the backfield. Running back in motion, it's Achane. Achane gets a nice cut up field, and Achane will get about 9 yards. 9 or 8 yards, which will bring up 3rd down. But the Dolphins got something going now with Skylar Thompson and Devon Achane forging the path for the Fins. That was good, right? Forging for the Fins. It was good. I'm workshopping. There's about 9:15 remaining for the Dolphins in this game. And the half. Sorry, it's late here. 3rd and 2. Thompson to throw. Braylon Sanders with a nice little stutter step. He gets the 1st down. A nice little cutback to Sanders. Nice play. Yes, I'm workshopping. So the Dolphins and the Commanders both have 6 first downs in this one, although the Commanders have arguably had more success as far as moving the ball goes. Mostly because they've had semi-decent quarterbacks, and we've been stuck with Skylar Thompson. But Thompson gives a screen. That's to Malik Washington. That'll go to about a 4-yard gain. I had an interview with Malik Washington this summer in Boca Raton, Florida. It was a good interview. He's a nice guy. I had to ask him some fun questions. It was kind of a silly thing. I asked him some serious questions as well. He called on me a lot. I was wearing this jersey, so I'm sure that contributed quite a bit. Skylar Thompson, he's got 3 men with him in the backfield. Smythe's in motion. Fake the handoff. I don't even know where he was throwing. That wasn't even a pass. He tried to throw it, fit it in there to Braxton Berrios, but that went nowhere. Actually, sorry, that was not Berrios. That was Sanders, Braylon Sanders. That went nowhere. It's a terrible throw. Man, he's so bad. Like, just coming to this realization now, but Skylar Thompson drops back to pass. He's got nothing, scrambling out. Thompson throws. Oh! And Braxton Berrios drops a touchdown. He actually threw a good pass. He cannot connect. Berrios drops the pass for the Dolphins. Thompson actually had him, but he just dropped it. Oh, man. Oh, that's painful. I mean, the ball was a little bit off. It got tipped. It did get tipped, worth considering, but still that should have been caught by Berrios. That's a member of the team who's obviously he's going to be a member of the starting team at some point. As a kickoff returner, but he's also going to be catching up. And Jason Sanders' kick was a little shaky on the field goal attempt from 39 yards, but ultimately nails it. And the Dolphins take a 10-3 lead. 7:44 remaining in the first half. The Dolphins 10, the Commanders 3. Skylar Thompson got a bit of something going, but Berrios just can't reel in the touchdown pass. So the Dolphins take a lead over the Commanders. And now is when we would cut to commercial break. Can't do that. I got no sponsors. I mean, if anyone wants to sponsor, I won't charge much. It won't be much. Type in the chat if you have any questions or anything. Yes, it was a lot of fun to interview Malik. He's a cool guy. I got to take a picture with him. It was interesting. It was a very interesting interview. It wasn't like a professional one-on-one interview or anything. It was a press conference with Malik Washington, semi-professional, I would say. There was other people who weren't being quite as serious as I was about it, and then I was told to ask a funny question because I was being too serious about it. I'm like, oh, what question am I going to ask? And so I had to ask a funny question. So I asked if there was like any confusion between him and Taj Washington. Won't have to worry about that anymore. If you know, you know. That's injuries for you. I'm so surprised that there's another car commercial going on. You know, like, I love commercials. I just do. I love commercials. Like, I don't realize it until football leaves. And then it's like, save 15% or more on car insurance with blank. Or like something like that. Like, you remember the fun stuff. And like, you don't get the fun stuff if you don't listen to commercials anymore. So I kind of miss commercials. Honestly, I miss football. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be back. Again, type in the chat if you want anything. Skylar Thompson, throughout his short stint so far, has thrown for 46 yards and gone 4 of 10. The game has now returned. They're doing a plugin. I'm going to do a plugin. Go subscribe to RSquared Monday Morning Mayhem. It's the alternate channel you can find at the bottom of the Exponential channel. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to this one and turn your notifications on so you get a notification every time you get one of these fun videos that comes out. Yes, I could say that. I could. Next time. Maybe. It's only $5. That's the fee. And that's a kickoff, which will only go to about the 24 on Kyle Allen on the return. Not Kyle Allen. I don't know his name. I am not well versed in the Washington Commanders, as it's K Allen. I don't know what that stands for. It could be Kyle, honestly. So the Commanders' Jeff Driscoll has he's had a couple of splashy plays on his first drive. Let's see if he can get things going from the 22 of their own. Play action, he throws, he's got a man, it's caught. Beautiful pass, well placed, and that is a first down to Luke McCaffrey, brother of Christian McCaffrey. Fact check me. I honestly have no idea. I'm pretty sure it is. I feel like I've heard something about it. He's wide receiver Luke McCaffrey in his it's his rookie year out of Rice. I'm pretty sure it is him. Jeff Driscoll will hand the ball off to Jeremy McNichols, and that'll go for basically nothing. If he got a yard, he might have gotten a yard there. I'm pretty sure Luke McCaffrey is Christian. Yeah, they have the same face. Thank you. Your payment is accepted. Jeff Driscoll drops back to pass. He'll throw, and that is caught. And good job taking the stop there. To number 14, that is Olamide Zacchaeus. He'll be on the starting squad. Will increase his accuracy. I'm sorry. Someone just asked, do I think Jason Sanders will increase his accuracy next year? He only missed 4 kicks. It was only 4 kicks. Jeff Driscoll is in shotgun running back. Driscoll runs up. It'll be a gain of 6. He is upended, not afraid to take a hit. And he does, in fact, take one. And it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up for the Commanders. But do I think Jason Sanders will increase his accuracy? No. No, I don't. I don't. I think he's going to be exactly the same as he has been the last 4 years. Eventually, but we're not going to get rid of him. The Dolphins aren't going to get rid of Jason Sanders until he retires. Driscoll takes the snap. It'll be a screen, and it should have been blown up. Oh, he trips on himself. Kader Kohu missed a tackle, but trips him up just enough to pull him down, which will bring up 3rd and 5. 2nd and what just happened? I thought that play was 3rd and 5. No, it was 1st and 10. My mistake. Stuff's happening. This is 2nd and 6 coming up for the Commanders. Oh, that's incomplete. Woo! And a big hit on Olamide Zacchaeus at the end of that play. If this was a real one, if this were a real, like an actual regular season, that could have been unnecessary roughness right there, because he got nailed by Elijah Campbell on that one. That was late and totally unnecessary. Yeah, that was way late. That would have been that. You got to teach him discipline on that one, because that could have very easily been an unnecessary roughness penalty if the refs weren't also in their preseason too. Then again, in that game between the Dolphins and the Eagles last year, it looked like they were stuck in the preseason. Dolphins bring the blitz on Driscoll. Driscoll throws deep. He's got a man, and it is deflected. Good defense by the Dolphins. Cam Smith on Olamide Zacchaeus. Good defense by the Dolphins brings up 4th and 6. I don't think they're in range of their really. Ooh, he had a hold of him there. He had a hold of him. Again, discipline. Regular season, you're not going to get away with that. That could have very, very easily been called pass interference or holding, one of the two. I think it could have been pass interference. But again, preseason. And that is, although he was, after this, fair catch, the cornerback on second thought was looking back at the ball, but I still think it could have been called holding. He still had a very firm grasp right here. I still think that could have been called holding. Maybe not pass interference because he was looking back, but definitely holding. They're showing the Commanders' schedule now. They have a few tough games. They have the Bengals in week 3, the Bucs in week 1, the Ravens in week 5, but mostly a fairly manageable schedule and some winnable games there, like against the Giants twice. No shade at the Giants, unlike Tom Brady. Dolphins, Thompson's under center, shovel pass. It looks like that'll be Mostert. That is not Mostert. That is Brooks. And that'll go for basically nothing. Again, holes are not appearing for the Dolphins offensive line. They're not creating solid holes in this to get the running backs through. We're not seeing much running game from the Fins early. There's 4:15 remaining here in the half. Hopefully the Dolphins can get some kind of a drive going to end the half, perhaps take a 13-3 or maybe a touchdown's asking too much. 2 men in the backfield with Thompson. Thompson will throw. He's got a man. Oh, my goodness. He dropped it. Wow. He was wide open. He actually nailed him, but he drops it. There's a flag on the play. It's false start on Miami. It was moot anyway. And it's Alan Eck. Alan Eck is the referee. Thanks for reffing, Eck. They're doing an interview. I have no one to interview. I got no one to interview. They're interviewing Brian Robinson. His numbers have been pretty good today. He's not even going to be the starting running back this year, so obviously they couldn't get Austin Eckler. Anyhow, the Dolphins are preparing for a 2nd and 13 play. They're going through with the interview. I'm going to keep commentating. Skylar Thompson, running backs in motion, can't quite tell who it is. Thompson throws. He's got a man. Ooh, tight window, but gets it through to Jonnu Smith and has him. Not quite enough for a first down, but a good for 10. It'll be 3rd and 3 coming up for the Dolphins. The clock is winding down towards the 3-minute mark coming up for Miami. Obviously, if they don't convert here, you could be expecting a punt. Mike McDaniel's offense goes from relatively confident with Tua Tagovailoa to let's just punt with Skylar Thompson or Mike White. Thompson takes the snap. He'll throw deep. That's Malik Washington and puts it too far in front of him. Oh, man. I mean, if they were like Jalen Waddle, he could have caught that, but obviously he still put it too far in front of him on that one. Needs to be more accurate. Tua would have put that right in his hands. I gotta say, preseason games are depressing. Only when the backups are in, though. I was actually having a lot of fun when Tua was in. The second quarter has been relatively slow moving. But the Dolphins scored a field goal. Jake Bailey to punt. He'll boot that one. And that is a high punt. Ooh! And the returner gets absolutely nailed. Wow. By Elijah Campbell. He gets popped. I might as well put him in the concussion protocol now. Ow. He gets the ball and he gets nailed. There's a flag on the play. Trying to determine what it is. Perhaps it was a fair catch and I didn't see it. Or I can't quite tell. Block in the back, perhaps? False start? I could guess all day. Just call the flag. He seems in high spirits after getting nailed, which, I mean, could be an after effect of the concussion, but Dan Quinn's checking him out, saying, yeah, he's all right. Gives him a little shoulder pat. And he'll be fine. Flag on the play here. Still don't know what it is. They're explaining to Mike McDaniel. He seems utterly flabbergasted. Personal foul. It's on Miami. Okay. I think they called the necessary roughness. I don't have my sound on, so it's hard to read lips. But okay. You call that? I mean, he did hit him really hard, but I don't know if I would have called that quite unnecessary roughness. He didn't call for a catch. He chose to field that. He chose to take that. Mike McDaniel is calmly enraged. It wasn't helmet to helmet. It was shoulder to helmet, shoulder to shoulder even. There was no helmet to helmet. I think that was a bad call. Handoff to Robinson, I believe. No, I can't tell who that is. That's Wiley, Michael Wiley. Second time we're seeing him today. No, first time. First time we're seeing Wiley today. That'll go for a gain of 11. So during halftime, I'm going to take a bit of a break. No, not too long. I'm going to take about a halftime's break. I could, of course, recap the first half, but I've basically been doing that during the commercial breaks, so I don't really think you need that. So I'm just going to disappear for halftime, eat something. The Commanders, Driscoll handoff is stumped in the backfield by Chop Robinson. We see the early domination by Chop on that one. That's something to watch out for. That was really impressive by Robinson. If he can keep getting the penetration that he gets there, really good. Really good play. And now they're on a soda commercial. Okay. No, I don't think it was helmet to helmet. It looked very shoulder to shoulder. In fact, it kind of looked like he put his shoulder down like this and intentionally tucked his head away and hit him right here. So that it kind of knocked him back. But I don't think that was helmet to helmet. So apparently I'm getting $5 for a sponsor, so I have to do it. So I'm going to do it. This live stream is sponsored by the Carmona Law Firm, Estate Planning and Construction Law. Let our family take care of yours. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I don't know. I can do it again. I can do it again if you want. That's another 5, though. 5 per one. I'll take another 5. I mean, if you don't do it, if you won't take it, then I'd be willing to bargain. But no free sponsor. I think that was pretty good, personally. I think that was a very good sponsor. Meanwhile, we're still in commercial break. They're doing another car commercial. Now they're doing a different commercial that I can't say, otherwise it would give it away. Driscoll still has not surpassed Daniels' passing yards. He's 4 of 6 for 32, but the running game has excelled under Driscoll. It was really good. Do it again at halftime. $5. That was not a down payment for the entire game. I never specified. It's 5 per plugin. Again, I'd be willing to bargain. Skylar Thompson so far in his drives, he's gone 5 of 12 for 56. So he has surpassed Tagovailoa's pass yards, but Tagovailoa also went 5 for 5, while he went 5 for 12. Real good, Skylar. Real good. Yes, done? Really? Okay. I'll do it again at halftime. Oh, that was the 2-minute warning commercial timeout break. I was not paying attention to the clock. That is my fault completely. 2 minutes remaining in the second half. I could just disappear for a minute. I'll be back. The 2-minute warning has now been commenced here in Miami, and we're back. Jeff Driscoll has the Commanders at the 39-yard line. Driscoll looks like it'll be a pass on this one. Driscoll takes the snap. It will, in fact, be. He's got his man, and that'll go for about 5 or 6 on the play as they are starting to get a drive to try to tie up the game here. That was to Jamison Crowder for 7 yards. Nick Needham on the tackle. Third and 7 coming up for the Commanders, expecting a longer pass here. I would say watch out at the top of your screen. There's not a favorable matchup up there. Yeah. They were a little too spaced out. Jay, that's a first down. First down, Commanders, that's a gain of 13 to Jamison Crowder. Top of the screen. I know you guys can't see what I see. I was going top of the screen. But there was clear, like the cornerbacks were back deep. That was a very easy completion. Jamison Crowder did the rest. So the Commanders find themselves in the red zone. The clock is ticking. They're not going as hurry up as they probably need to be going. And 45 seconds remaining and counting. Very slow. And the Commanders will they take the snap. Driscoll will pull under and he is sacked. Number 50 for the Dolphins pulls up for the sack. It's Mohamed Kamara. That was impressive. I've been waiting for Chop Robinson to get a sack so then I could do something like chop, down goes the quarterback, or like something fun like that. Again, workshopping. But Mo Kamara, another very. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on the defensive line today, throughout the season. So 2nd and 16, the Commanders called timeout. It'll be 2nd and 16 up. Again, they'll be fully relying on Riley Patterson should they not score a touchdown here. And remember, this is the same kicker who's missed 2 field goals today from under 50 yards. Great kicker. I mean, honestly, great play throughout this entire game. Skylar Thompson, Riley Patterson. Driscoll will take the screen to Jamison Crowder. He's got blockers in front, but not good enough. Crowder gets upended by Nick Needham, and they will close their way into the 20-yard line of Miami. It'll be 3rd and 11, but the Commanders will call their second timeout. There's 28 seconds remaining in the first half. So assuming the Commanders get a touchdown here, the game will be tied square at 10, assuming Riley Patterson can make an extra point. Obviously hasn't proved himself this far. Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator for the Commanders. With Arizona, most of the time, he would send Kyler Murray holding the ball very loosely like this, trying to get a first down. The Cardinals were not fun to watch. They were also not fun to commentate on. Because every time it was like, hold on to the ball! But we'll see if they do a similar tactic here or they throw a deeper pass. Because they only have a certain amount of time. Shot clock is winding down. I'm thinking basketball. And a deep pass. He's open. Good defense by the Dolphins. He did not turn his head, but I don't think there was enough contact there for PI. And that'll bring up 4th and 11 for the Commanders, which will force Riley Patterson up. But this time it's under 40, so surely he'll make it this time. Saron Neal coming from Buffalo. No, not enough contact. That was clean. Good forced incompletion. Solid defense. 4th down. So Riley Patterson with his 4th attempt of the day. Can he make it? It's up and it is drilled. He nails that one. So a 30, he's good from 38, bad from 43, good from 46, and bad from 49. He's a very wishy-washy kicker. I would recommend looking at some other options, Washington. This is a preseason game, and he's missed 2 of his 4 field goals. 19 seconds remaining until the half. My guess is the Dolphins will just take a knee, send it into halftime, and they will also be getting the ball to start the second half. I'm going to try to do some fancy stuff that I don't really know how to do. Not a good idea, but I'm going to mess with stuff. Honestly, I could just leave you guys here. Oh, I'm just going to leave you here to look at a wall. Oh, I can mute myself. That's helpful. I can make food in peace. All right, it's 10-6. The Dolphins are back. It's Malik Washington and Braxton Berrios due to this new kickoff formula. And the punt, and it will be taken by Berrios. Berrios will run it back. He broke through one tackle, but through nothing more, getting a little frustrated. He gets to the 29. 15 seconds will remain in this first half before the Dolphins will make they're probably just going to take a knee and be done with it. But maybe Skylar Thompson will throw up a Hail Mary. He won't, but he could. He won't. Knowing Mike McDaniel, he'll take a knee, have a funny interview, and go into halftime, get the ball back very easily. It's also possible that they don't. Yeah. They're not taking a knee. Interesting. They're not doing anything productive, I doubt. Mostert's in motion, or Brooks is in motion. He shovels it to Jonnu Smith, who gets out of bounds. It's like they were trying, but the blitz got to Thompson too fast. So the Commanders went for rushing the inconsistent quarterback. Smart idea. Skylar Thompson, I'm expect after that, he got out of bounds very intentionally, so I expect another pass here. I always expect correctly. I'm so good at this. Skylar Thompson will take the ball from the Miami 28, haven't moved, basically. Thompson will back up. He's got nowhere, gives it to Chris Brooks, who cuts inside, makes a couple men miss, and that'll take us to halftime. The Miami Dolphins scores 10. The Washington Commanders have 6. The Dolphins got ahead early with a Tua Tagovailoa touchdown pass beautifully placed in the hands of River Craycraft. And since then, it's been missed field goal, made field goal, missed field goal, made field goal for the Commanders, bringing them to 6, and the Dolphins manage one successful drive to bring the score to 10-6. This live stream is sponsored by the Carmona Law Firm, Estate Planning and Construction Law. Let our family take care of yours. I'm going to take a break now. Halftime. I'll be back in 12 or so minutes. Thank you for watching the first half. It's been a great hour and 40 minutes. I'll be back for the second half.